missed
No, you got to go back now and say, why was the NFL continuing to support with all the confusion going on in the media? And maybe it's all of that found money right there.
And then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about,
I'm not gonna lie, after we found out why Beyonce made a lot of the songs that she did and for what reasons, I am not shocked one bit to find out that Jay-Z is allegedly listed in the Epstein files.
50 Cent is still keeping his foot firmly on Jay-Z and Beyonce's necks, and now he's hinting that Beyonce herself might be tied into this whole Epstein situation. By now, you probably heard that Jay-Z's name popped up in those Epstein files. There's a woman claiming she woke up inside Epstein's mansion, and she says Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein were both in the room. And as soon as that information started circulating, 50 jumped on social media talking about how he wants to put together a whole documentary on Jay-Z and Epstein. 50 said, damn, they got your man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this ish. But here's where Beyonce made a mistake, thinking she could control what 50 does. Allegedly, Beyonce got her lawyers to warn 50 to stop posting about Jay and Epstein. But as you can imagine, that just made things worse. So after 50 posted about possibly doing a documentary on Jay-Z's connection to Epstein, a source close to Beyonce said she was furious because apparently the Carters had already paid off major media outlets to not talk about this. Even the Shade Room quietly deleted their post about Jay being named in the Epstein files. And notice how TMZ, People, Us Weekly, Complex, Billboard, none of these outlets touched this story. So the Carters probably thought this was going to blow over. But they clearly forgot about 50 Cent, because if there's ever an opportunity to shade Jay-Z, 50 is not letting it pass him by. And you know 50 lives for a threat. That man gets energized when folks think they can scare him. So after word got out that Beyonce allegedly sent her lawyers to warn 50 about speaking on Jay-Z and Epstein, 50 jumped right back on social media and shared a cryptic post hinting that Beyonce might want to back off. 50 also shared this AI-generated clip of himself and wrote in the caption, "I smell beef and popcorn." So now with 50 Cent stirring the pot, you just never know what else might come back up. We already saw how 50 dug up all kinds of stuff on Diddy for that documentary, things a lot of people didn't even know existed. So if he could do that, he could definitely do the same thing with the Carters. Now the real question is, can Beyonce actually stop 50 from making a documentary about Jay-Z? Well, the internet doesn't think so. Fans online are saying Beyonce might want to sit this one out, or better yet, call a divorce lawyer. But here's the thing, a lot of people are now starting to believe Beyonce might be complicit in whatever Jay-Z was allegedly involved in. And because of that, the divorce is highly unlikely. Because if we're being honest, Jay and Beyonce probably got dirt on each other, and it's safer for both of them to stay married. And let's not forget that Beyonce has had her own separate allegations floating around for years. Everything from claims that she sabotages other female artists to much darker rumors about black magic and so-called sacrifices. One of the most disturbing allegations came from former NFL player Larry Johnson, who claimed he once attended a weird party with Jay-Z and Beyonce that left him deeply disturbed. According to Johnson, this was back in the early 2000s at a late-night rap party the Carters were hosting in Colorado. He says there were people there who didn't look like adults at all, and that Beyonce allegedly made a comment that made him extremely uncomfortable.
Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house, and we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play, and after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework, but she brought her mother with her. So it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, you know, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me.
And then there are also all those rumors about Beyonce being involved in some dark practices like witchcraft and rituals. These claims aren't just coming from random folks on the internet. They're coming from people who worked with Beyonce for years. Back in 2018, Beyonce's former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, came forward accusing her of practicing what she described as extreme witchcraft, and it didn't stop at accusations. Kimberly even went as far as filing for a restraining order against Beyonce.
This has been going on since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I loved them. I'd send emails, you know, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of.
But Kimberly isn't the only one who made these kinds of insinuations. More recently, Beyonce's former dance captain, Ashley Everett, was caught liking some real shady posts and comments. And one of those posts claimed that when people listen to Beyonce, they don't realize they're entertaining demons. But it gets even darker. Another former dancer, Khadijah Cherie, who worked with Beyonce on the Formation video and her 2016 Super Bowl performance, came out with some truly shocking claims on Instagram. She called Beyonce a witch and even accused her of allegedly calling for something to happen to her child. Khadijah wrote, "Are you effing serious? You called for my child to be R-word? You evil witch. Essence, check on my child. I'm about to blow this ish through the effing roof." Now that post quickly disappeared from Khadijah's page, and honestly, most people would have never even known about it if it wasn't for Tasha K. Tasha came through with the receipts and shared screenshots of Khadijah's post on X, and then also broke it down on her YouTube channel.
Beyonce is being accused again of doing black magic. Now here's what I'm gonna say. Everybody ain't lying. I spent probably a week doing research on all the people that they were connected with, and all of them are connected to some sort of black magic, some sort of witchery. Okay? This is an ex-dancer of hers, and now we remember the ex-drummer that came out and we call her crazy too. We got the interview of the drummer. Y'all remember her? And she was saying that Beyonce was using witchcraft and all that stuff, and it always comes out around the time when she getting ready to cipher for a new album. I know Beyonce's a witch. I saw the Lemonade visuals. I saw it. I said, this is dark.
Now let me be clear, these are all just allegations. Nobody's saying this is a proven fact. However, when you keep hearing the same types of stories about the same person from different people, that's when people start wondering, when does coincidence stop being a coincidence and start looking like a pattern? Because one rumor you can brush off, two maybe, but when similar claims keep popping up from people who are actually on the inside, that's when the public starts paying attention and asking real questions. And then there's this whole other angle people don't like to talk about, the idea that Jay-Z and Beyoncé might not actually be the ones running things. Because let's be real, no matter how rich or famous these entertainers are, there are people behind the scenes with even more money and more power calling the shots. Remember when Kanye claimed that Beyoncé and Jay-Z are just controlled puppets, and he hinted how most of these celebs are being blackmailed by something they did in their past?
You know what I'm saying? They could control Shaq, they could control Charles Barkley, they could control LeBron James, they can control Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You know,
you.
out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
So between the Epstein allegations, the media silence, Beyonce's alleged legal threats against 50 Cent, and all these past allegations coming back, the Carter empire is starting to show some real cracks. And now the big question is whether they can actually recover from this, or if it's already too late. Because once the public starts forming opinions, it's hard to put that toothpaste back in the tube. But let me hear what you think. Do you believe 50 Cent is bluffing about doing a documentary on Jay-Z and Epstein? Or do you think he actually has enough to expose something major? And what about Beyonce? Do you think she's innocent in all this? Someone who was manipulated when she was too young to know better? Or is she a willing participant at this point? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for this next video.